A heartbreaking loss for C9, but Kingwin moves on, smiling from Group F. But now we must move on. There's still many more teams to get through. 3 more spots left for the playoffs to see who gets to also stand on that stage at the Lanxess Arena. That's what everyone's eyeing for. Even the fans, of course, all watching. They're wondering, who are we going to watch in that stadium? And right now we're heading over to Group E. First up, Navi's waiting now at the top of that bracket. We'll take a quick look at the bracket if we have a chance. But first up is going to be CLG versus eBettle. Oh, let's start with the matchup overall. I mean, both teams not looking like the strongest of the favorites in this tournament.
You're getting away with this too easy, Will. You say move on. I don't know if I can like that. We can't just move on like that.
I'm just trying to save you guys from tears, but you know what? We're going to force you guys to move on by looking at the bracket of Group B. We're just going to forget what just happened. I want to make sure that Most doesn't have a breakdown here.
Thank you, Will. Appreciate that.
CLG getting shuffled into this group to play against eBettle, and in fact, no, and then it will be Navi waiting for them up there. So a little bit of a mix-up on the later part of the bracket, a little bit of a mix-up, but it will be Navi waiting for them, of course, after they had a tough run yesterday against Fnatic. I'm sure a lot of people also don't want to talk about that one. So again, let's move on to the present. CLG versus eBettle. Walk us through the generics here. First of all, on CLG's side, Katie.
How this works is, this is a time where a team that lives in a gaming house, which has these strong individuals, who's been gradually improving from tournament to tournament, they have to show that they must be on top of a team like eBettle. There's no way to work around this. I mean, losing to Navi and then having lost in the tournament in general to NIP and Navi and going out, that's not a shame. But I would feel like CLG losing this matchup, that's under the standard.
This is the kind of heartbreak they like to inflict, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It really is.
Are you prepping yourself?
American hope.
I know.
Yeah, so I'm definitely predicting a 16-13 type scoreline here, just for the comedy effect of having them lose to TSM, Envy, NIP on LAN, all at around 16-13, 16-14.
Oh man, that would be would that be comedy though anymore?
So it's mostly sort of like a joke prediction, but honestly, this is how it works when you're trying to become better. You make a similar mistake a lot of times. You get so close, and one day you break through. Look at TSM in the semifinals of so many tournaments, right? One day it clicks, it works, and it takes hard work. But I think CLG are at that stage now.
But for TSM, it took a change in roster.
Yeah,
do that.
True.
How do you feel about this? Moses, you're more in the NAC. You must know what's going on.
I'm not going to touch that one. This is
I
have full confidence in this lineup right now as it's constructed in this major. I'm going to send them my energy. But yeah, this is a match that, for a team that's shown improvement, they didn't do a roster change. They switched their in-game leader to Cutler, and ever since that happened, they've been getting these really, really good performances without winning. And that's kind of the key thing with CLG, is they give you enough to hope, enough to believe, and they never take it to that next step, because we're constantly saying, oh man, really good match from CLG, but they lost 16-12, 16-13. Like, that only works for so long.
Yeah, and again, that repeated itself in Group A, of course, where they first played against NIP.
Literally, CLG is that souvenir cobblestone box, and it ticks right past the Dragon Lore, and every CLG
really
match is like that.
Is that all that is on your
So very upsetting.
Just dreaming about it overnight. Well, hopefully we'll have some good news for you by the end of the event. But on the other side now, going up against CLG, we talked about them briefly right now, but eBettle will be playing, and like you guys said, for CLG here, like taking those close games against some of the top in the world, they better be able to win against eBettle. On the other side, eBettle, like, they're like, oh, well, we're going to come in, we're going to enjoy the experience. And so far, it hasn't been such an enjoyable experience for them, having to play against Fnatic from the get-go.
Yeah.
So I feel like in the past couple of matches, we've had like a decent picture of what CLG are like, at IEM, but also at this tournament. I think we've got a pretty bad picture of what eBettle might be like, because they get to play Fnatic and they got, crushed by them. So what can you really say about that? I feel like we need to learn all over again.
I feel like, for me, and we all knew that they were most likely 9,000 out of, 9,001 times they were going to lose to Fnatic.
Yeah.
But for me, it was more the way they lost it, the way that their strategical approach was. I feel like they were doing so many calls where they were just not understandable for me, with how Fnatic are approaching the game, how they should try and get just a few rounds together. And I don't know, it was these matchmaking strategies with like 4 guys rushing B and the bump going A, and I was like, I know that these guys are better. So the question is, how much are they going to show today? Because I think we were all surprised by how they played against Titan, Hellraisers and others in the offline qualifiers, but are they really going to bring that game to this tournament?
Wait. It's the manager behind him. He's taking the teddy bear away. All right.
Oh,
that's going to be a big change. There he is. There's Teddy Bear looking over. Oh, saying hello.
I know this teddy bear was freaking TSM out. They were freaking out yesterday. They were like, what is it? What is the
but
thing
what
with
was
this
that?
bear?
Kissing it as well now. This
the teddy bear is going in, guys. But
Yeah, this is a family show. Just let's try and keep it clean.
eBettle, of course. Now, many of you guys may not also know too much about eBettle, so we also have a quick piece here about one of their players, Pete. Let's take a look.
I'm a student of it's called civil engineering, I think, in English, or building engineering, and I work in a building engineering company. But it's going pretty tough for me this studying, because it's sometimes hard to connect those things with playing Counter-Strike, basically. For most people, it's probably something like a no life, someone who is just playing computer games. For me, it's first thing that comes to mind is that it's a work, because I'm spending like 8 hours a day doing this. So it's basically a regular job for me. Sometimes it's like 12 hours, 5 days a week, or even sometimes 7 days a week if we get some preparation for some tournament. It's a lot of fun for me, because I started playing this game to have fun, basically, not to make money off of this. And if you are winning tournaments, if you're winning matches, then it's a lot of fun. If you're losing, it's work you have to do sometimes. Sometimes you don't want to play this game anymore. And if you're losing matches, then playing 8 hours a day, it's not very good. So it depends a lot on your team's performance and on your individual performance, because if you know you're playing a good game, and you're having a lot of fun, and if you know that it's not working for you, then it's not enjoyable at all. Well, it's not something that comes to be a decision for a player, I think. I don't think there's anyone who is just like, okay, today I'm going to start being a professional gamer. It's something that comes to you like at some point that you realize you're pretty good at this, and some decent team picks you up and you start to play at big events, and that's basically how it happened for me. The atmosphere in the team is just great. We've got that chemistry that is needed to become a good team. We don't argue a lot. Of course, there are some arguments when it's not going so well, or if we're not listening to calls from our in-game leader, which is Bartosz Hyperwolny. That's basically it. We just like each other a lot. We just enjoy spending time together on boot camps when we meet to practice, or at LAN events. It's always a lot of fun, and we just like what we're doing. And I think that's the main reason that it's working for us pretty well. If you don't like what you're doing and you're forced to do it, then it's not going to work for you probably. I just want to see how it goes. I don't want to make any decisions, because it's hard to make plans connected with Counter-Strike, because it depends on my performance, on my team's performance. It's not something that we can decide that we are going to be the best team. We have to earn this, and I am not sure if I can tell if we are going to earn this. And I want to be the engineer as well. So for now it's mostly playing Counter-Strike, but for the future I think it's more going to be the engineering thing.
Well, there is Pete. Much respect for having, two different goals. I mean, in two different directions, both in engineering and Counter-Strike. But right now, I mean, you've got to win against CLG if you want to even have a chance at kind of staying in this tournament. I mean, literally, you have to win, otherwise you're out. And also at a major, I mean, obviously you want to get as much exposure as you can for a team like eBettle.
Yeah, it's also I feel like it's a hard balance, because Immunity goes in and we're all good friends. We're here to get experience. The same for eBettle. And then you have the contrast with CLG saying, we want to go top 4. And either way, you're like, come on, For me, CLG top 4 is not gonna happen, and for me, no team is here to just have fun and get experience. Like, you're here to win, you're here to do the very best you can, and getting the experience must be the second reward of playing here.
I feel like you can become an engineer any old day. I feel like, you know, playing Counter-Strike at this level is you've got to take the chance when you get it like this.
That's
you have to.
that is a good way to put it. Yeah, and
Inspiring words from an inspiring man.
looks like we are going straight into the vetoes, though, so we have a little bit more of a chat after we see what map they will, in fact, end up.
Seems like CLG have done a little bit of homework at least, because they train Cobblestone and Overpass are the 3 maps that we sort of feel like eBettle might want to try and play, and CLG will end up removing Train first. That makes a lot of sense.
eBettle should remove like this 2 and Cash. I kind of feel like that's the strongest maps.
And you're right.
Yeah, this was the first one at least. Let's see if we're going to get the second one right. For CLG here, they're probably going to remove another one, as you addressed, of the stronger maps for eBettle. Oh, Inferno. I mean, it's not that big of a surprise. They haven't been playing it that much, according to themselves.
Honestly, though, Cutler's CT side calling on Inferno gave me a lot of hope. I thought, all right, if they can just fix a couple of things Terrorist side, I'd be super excited.
It's hard to fix things Terrorist side Inferno, though, and I think that's the thing. When they have such a skill advantage, why would they want to play a map where they can get locked out of bomb sites if they don't have economy control?
But do you feel like they would be more confident on Cobblestone and Overpass?
I think CLG would be fine with Cobblestone, to be completely honest with you.
Oh, well,
I think Anders would be happy.
Yeah, I mean, it's in the pool for the first time in the day.
It can still happen.
Anders, hold on to that dream.
Just close your eyes and send your energy this way. Everyone out in the chat, everyone watching.
Everyone imagine the B-bomb site fountain.
No.
What about the Just 2 veto here? I mean,
click the button.
Possibly go through. Yeah, that button, not the other one, right, Anders? You want to click the
Just 2. Well, CLG's had some really good, some big matches.
Mirage.
It's a nice try. Sorry, Anders. But, I mean, CLG had a couple of good matches on Dust 2. They have a lot of that individual skill on them, so removing Dust 2 from eBettle, not too surprising.
I'm cool with that. So I really do love watching Mirage games.
Here's the real thing, though, is CLG on Mirage, they love this map. They absolutely love it.
You saw Tarek cheering, right?
Yeah, well, this is the map against any North American team, even Cloud9. They feel confident that they will beat any North American team on. They upset Fnatic on it at the Pro League Finals. And this is a map they're very experienced on because it's probably their most played map.
But we can agree that eBettle will make a better showing than what they did against Fnatic on this map, right?
Yes.
How much are we talking? We had a small side bet that you don't think that eBettle will reach 10 rounds. Does that change anything with this map?
No.
Oh.
Okay, your eyes cold.
So,
eyes cold.
Here's the thing. This is being documented. It's the first time that I've stood up and supported CLG ever
it's actually
in a tournament.
But the last American
hope. And that
hope.
probably is going to jinx it. I think I just might have ruined it.
Maybe, Moses. I mean, maybe everyone in America is now going to cry because of you. Who knows?
Yeah.
But
sorry.
But putting kind of those numbers in perspective, I mean, you don't think eBettle will even be able to take 10 rounds. Anders, what's your take on that? I mean, how strong of a showing do you think eBettle will have against CLG?
Like I said, I think it's very, very difficult to predict based off of day one results, because I feel like we know so little about eBettle. Moses says less than 10 rounds.
That might be a little bit aggressive.
Yeah, it's a bit on the edge. It's on the edge.
I can see them taking around 10 or 11, like right on that edge. But I think, in my opinion, it should be a comfortable win for CLG. I actually am very impressed by the way that CLG have been playing, not just like here, but also at Intel Extreme Masters. So yeah.
For me, it's the change of color. Sorry, go on.
Well, no, go on. It's fine. The mine is a small point. You can go with.
just the change of color as an in-game leader has really. In the mid-round situations, this team is playing much more collective as a squad, as a unit, instead of where you used to be able to see just these individual plays being made that would kind of throw some rounds off, give rounds up that they didn't need to do. And Cutler has them playing much smarter in those mid-rounds.
How would you feel with people saying that FNS might not be as important for the team anymore now he's not in-game leading? What's your take on that then?
FNS is a player for CLG that doesn't always get the numbers and frags, but what he's able to do online for this team is during retakes, during really hectic situations, he's able to push through smokes, he gets aggressive, he makes a play when it needs to be made. He hasn't converted that, consistently into tournament play, and I'm hoping that with the responsibility of leading the team in game taken away from him, that he can get back to that and do that a little bit more, because those are some of the plays they kind of need. When they're losing a bomb site, he can turn that around. When they need to retake a bomb site, he's willing to be that entry player on a retake.
Yeah, I feel like obviously CLG should be the big favorites for this one. eBettle, I know how it is being an underdog in the tournament, playing against Fnatic. You lose the pistol round on the T side. All of a sudden, you just drain your energy very low. You're like, you just don't stand that very good chance. I feel like they're going to be more confident in this one. they get the momentum going, they will have a chance. If you can win against Titan and Hellraisers and LAN, you can also beat CLG. CLG should win, but it's not impossible.
All right, well, we'll see which.
Impossible. It's absolutely not impossible. That's the scary part.
Confirming that it's absolutely not impossible. And we'll see which stats speak truer in this matchup, whether it's going to be eBettle's history or CLG coming forward. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the elimination match of Group E. Another team will get sent home here. Another team lives to fight one more match. We'll find out right after this.
Welcome back, everyone, to ESL Cologne. My name's Joe Miller, and joining me is Henry G, looking incredibly good today, I've got to say, Henry.
For the first time we cast together as well, I've got to look good, I've got to show up, right?
You pulled it off.
Yeah,
what can I say about that one?
Did that.
Question is, though, can eBettle pull off an upset here, taking on CLG? We saw them in action yesterday against Fnatic. It was a very, very one-sided game, and I think the only positive that I can take out of that for eBettle was the fact that they didn't seem too downtrodden with it. They kept it lighthearted.
That's the best we can take from the whole game.
Literally.
That's the whole thing, though. Going against Fnatic in their current form, like Navi did exactly the same thing in their game. So I don't think we can really read into it too much. But the things we can look at are how they performed in the offline qualifiers, right? So they took down some huge sculpts there. They took down Titan. They took down Hellraisers. Those are incredibly difficult tasks. So we know they have the capability of taking down top teams. Unfortunately for them, CLG are really strong on Mirage, and the fact they're starting the CT side first as well, this is a very difficult challenge for them. It's going to be an uphill struggle. I think CLG will get quite an early advantage depending on pistols. It's going to be difficult to shut out, like JDM, especially on this map, kicks off. He's very good. The AWP potential he has in this map is incredible. So it looks like we're getting ready for the pistol round here, but I really do favour CLG in this match. I think this veto's worked out perfectly for them.
I have to agree with you and the guys on the expert desk there. CLG definitely the favourites coming into this one, but we shall see if eBettle can pull off any kind of upset in this matchup. We can see the start very similar to their T-side pistol against Fnatic yesterday on Mirage as well. It's going to be a big A hit here already. Those smokes coming in, and we can see there on top of stairs, Jungle going to be smoked off. No CT smoke at this point, but they will keep a lot of flashes down there. They managed to get the bomb in, and there's a push through. Furlan going to take down Cutler for the start of this one. eBettle off to a great start. There's another flash towards CT spawn. Grubby will take down Tarek and Hayes as well, and it's now all FNS and JDM. Can they get back into this one? Rallen will fall down, and everyone very low. The defuse being stuck here. JDM gets in there. Diffuse is inside of the smoke, and 2 men left here for eBettle. Not enough to hold on to the bomb.
What a catastrophe that was. It was such a nice execution from eBettle there. Like you mentioned, the smoke didn't go down CT spawn. That's all part of the plan. They had a perfect wall of smoke, get the bomb down. It means they can send a little swarm of terrorists into the CT spawn, find frags. That's exactly what they did, but they just got a little bit too distracted by that. The bomb was getting defused while the retake was going on, and it was just pandemonium on site, and that's going to be devastating for eBettle. But they got the bomb down. It means they can get the AKs out next round, but it seems like the CTs are aware of this. They make sure they got 3 rifles out here. They're trying to keep it long range. They want to make sure they don't lose any heads here.
JDM did just get deep there inside a window, but here is one up close and personal, and they've traded here early on, and that will be Hayes actually losing out on his weapon. Actually, I don't think they managed to get in there and pick that one up, so not too bad here for CLG, but don't forget that JDM down to just 16 health. Tarek here expecting the push to be, but they've looped back around through T-spawn.
So Hayes was the one with the MP7 players. That's the good thing about having a couple of SMGs, just to gain information. Even if he dies, you guys have got the head armor. The MP7 is pretty useless for the Ts when they're getting that weapon. So still advantage in favour of the CTs here. You can see them wrapping around the palace. They have one player towards the B apartment. It's going to be Rallen, actually. He's going to be trying to get some sort of distraction off here. You can see him dropping his gun as well, just trying to make that distraction play and give some noise off. That's actually maybe a clever play. You can see that's actually peeling CTs towards the B area. That's quite cool, actually. So the guys are going to come out to the A, execute out from Palace, but there's only going to be one CT waiting for them.
What can they do here? Rollin has looped away underground and will be coming up through connector. And for now, no one will be there to challenge him. There's just that one man. It's Cutler on top of the ticket booth there. But look at this. He's started to move back towards that CT spot as well. He will finally see the T's come out there. They take a bit of a hit here. Just trying to coordinate himself there. But it's Pete that gets the headshot. And now down to just 3 men left with a bomb planted for eBettle. He is Rallen up close and personal. Almost taking down Tarek. FNS will come in. Now just 2 men left here for the terrorist side. That's a great shot from Grubby. And he will find the last one to take out FNS, but it's still 2 versus 2. JDM will fall there, and now it's just Tarek up close here on Grubby, will get the kill. Now Pete with just 20 HP. Tarek starting to defuse, comes off it there, and with the USPS will take out Pete. It was a close one to the bomb exploding, and a very close round in general for CLG.
Yeah, too close to call that one. Tarek, I think he went for the full diffuser and realised he had enough time to get the kill off, made it and salvaged around for them. But that was very nice from Team eBettle, getting the bomb down again, and they did it in the pistol as well. Look at the economy they have compared to the CTs now. CTs losing all but 1 man there. It's going to be a difficult buy for them, and you definitely favour this Team eBettle here. Like, they can just do a simple A execute like they did on the pistol and get into the bomb site and just swarm the CTs. It'll be so stifling. It'll be very difficult to retake in that situation. But here we go. CT's responding with an aggressive push in middle. JDM is going to be looking for that early frag to kind of react to this weak buy they have.
Will get blind there. I think that Hyper will have spotted him. Actually, Hyper will peek around the corner, but JDM, great reaction there to take out Hyper and instantly almost knock eBettle down to just 4 men. The push will start to come around, though, onto this A bomb site, but there's a fairly deep defense. 1 man will be watching there from jungle. That was Hayes, but Grubby will deal with him, so they're making great moves and great ground here on that A bomb site. The bomb will be planted in just a second. Tarek will take out Pete, but Furlan again will make sure that they keep the man advantage, albeit with Grubby on just 3 HP. You've got FNS coming around from the back, picks up that silenced M4. Can they coordinate this retake of the site? Let's see. Rowland gets FNS, and it is now all on JDM. 2 men to find, plus the bomb to defuse. What's he going to be able to do? Actually switching out to the USP. Will get himself an AK, but he's got 1 man at either side, and eBettle really holding well there on the site.
Yeah, it was a really nice try from CLG. Like I said, the only thing they could really do there was try and get the early frag, which they did, pushing up middle, but the A execute came in from eBettle, and once you got the bomb down that situation, you had so little to retake with. It just comes down to running through smokes and hoping for the best. You're just in such a weak position. So eBettle do come back into the game, first round on the board, but that's just down to the money. Getting the bomb down twice in a row, getting so many kills, gets you in such a great position there. So you can see now the CTs having to be onto almost a fully gear, 3 P250s in hand, but this is good for eBettle, just keeping it very passive now. They don't want to give away too much. If they commit somewhere like middle and there's a CT push, you can see how they're holding it now. This is perfect. They just want to work out, ascertain what the CTs are doing, and then react to it from there. So they can waste another 30 seconds or so just trying to work out where the stacks may lie.
And the stack this time around for CLG is on that A bomb site. Will commit a lot of flashes over there. See the molly coming down on a ramp. And Grubby might get the shock of his life when he comes around. He actually takes the head off JDM there, but Cutler will push through. He does have Pete's backup, so they should be able to keep hold of this AK. There's a push through from CLG, and they've got themselves a 2nd kill. So 2 AKs now in the hands of the remaining CLG players. Up against 3, though, and I think this is likely just going to be them trying to keep a hold of these weapons. Bomb down in the B site. They are pretty much at the furthest point that they could be from that B site, so
yeah,
not looking like they'll be challenging for this one, and they're just going to camp things out in Palace and take those AKs through into their next round.
Yeah, definitely. Saving the AKs here is probably the best they could have hoped for. They took a stack on the site. It was a fake they fell for, and they got 2 kills. 2 AKs for that. It's definitely not a bad eco for them. They didn't have to invest a lot into the round. There's 3 P250s, got 2 AKs out of it, so that's not bad at all. So going into the next round, it should boost their economy a little bit. It's with those AKs, they should actually be able to get a buy there. We can see Hayes jumping out the server. Maybe we'll have to a little bit of a technical pause going into the next round, but eBettle stabilizing things 2-2 now. So this isn't the runaway game I expected. I expected CLG to actually get into this one and start running away because they are definitely the stronger team on this map. But yeah, we're going to have a little pause going into it. Technical issue, it seems like.
And just to point out, eBettle have now equaled their record that they had against Fnatic yesterday.
So that's a good start.
I actually predicted, my first game yesterday was a 16-2. The second one was a 16-3. I was thinking, maybe 16-4 today. Let's take it step by step, getting closer as we go. But eBettle,
I think you may be in luck, considering the tactics I've seen from them. The pistol round especially, although they didn't win it, I actually really like that strat. It's a variation of just the normal AXQ, the wall of smokes. Normally, the idea is to lock out the CT spawns to the players. They don't have a look into the map, but they actually did the wall of smokes and then forced the issue into the spawn and took the players out as they were rotating. It was a really clever idea, but as we all saw it unfold, they forgot about the bomb. That's something you can't forget about normally in this game. But obviously bouncing back, getting them the economy on their side, that full eco from them, getting the bomb down as well, and actually coming very close to winning the round, really did work in their favour. Now we're at 2-2. We can have a look at the CT economy now. It's actually not great. Although they have saved 2 AKs, you would probably suggest it's feasible to force buy this one with the pharmacists, perhaps maybe some 5-7s just to kind of complement them. But yeah, this is obviously a very important round. If eBettle do take this one, they'll force the CTs back onto another eco. So big round coming up. Be interesting to see what approach they take so far. We haven't really seen a full gun round yet. It's been 2 very cautious round. The CTs having a weak buy going into that first one after they lost so many men. They were forced to do that push up middle, for example. But we haven't seen the JDM's orb come out yet. We know that's going to be a huge pivotal part of their setup.
And we should absolutely say as well, despite eBettle having really no chance yesterday against Fnatic, this is a team that did incredibly well at the EU qualifiers, beat some top-notch, honestly, European teams to get to this situation. So I think the biggest mistake that CLG could have made coming into today's game was, watching eBettle versus Fnatic yesterday and saying, you know what, we can easily beat these guys.
Let's not forget, Fnatic are still ranked officially #1 in the world. Losing to them 16-2, it's going to happen sometimes. You can't really avoid that. They're firing all cylinders. Yesterday was some of the best form I've ever seen those players in.
Yeah.
Fnatic weren't missing any shots. JW, he's back and he's stronger than ever. It seemed like he was getting picks all over the place. The Olaf and Crim's combination is just stronger than ever. And losing to those guys is really nothing to be ashamed about. So definitely can't underestimate Team eBettle. Taking down huge scopes like Titan and Hellraisers, you can't take anything away from them. So judging what I've seen so far, they definitely have tactics and strategies to work with on Mirage. It's just now CLG just need to stabilize their economy, I think, and then hopefully they can get back into this. Like I said, this round is going to be huge for this.
And we should also mention that Fnatic, did exactly the same as what they did to eBettle to Navi as well, which is, a team that you'd put right up there in the top numbers. And funnily enough, how that story works out, the winner of this game will go on to play Navi in the final round of group stages for a spot in the quarterfinals. And if it didn't get, if it wasn't hard enough already, then Envy are waiting for the winner of this group when it comes to tomorrow's quarterfinals. So, either way, I think this major more than we've seen even in the last ones has been so highly anticipated because the teams, there are a lot of changes. #1 coming into this one, there was a fairly quiet period for a lot of teams as well. So people are really excited to see what new comes out of teams and who can hit their form.
That's why I'm so excited about this tournament. I don't think the #1 is really black and white at the moment. It's so up and down. Every event, it seems that different teams find form. We have Fnatic, we have TSM, we have Navi, we have VP, and then even Hellraiser's creeping into this kind of top 10 area as well. So it's like every event seems a different winner and people are having bad shows of form. We've seen NIP almost drop off a little bit recently. Yesterday was a poor showing for them, but I think this is the event to decide them all. We can see who definitely is the #1, but I absolutely think after this major, we're going to see some shake-ups in the scene, judging by some of the performances from the we've seen this event.
And it's, you know, it's that period as well, isn't it? You know, after summer, the major comes in, and then it gets into, you know, what in football you call a transfer window. For us, it's that kind of silly season, really,
the reset,
where everything goes crazy.
So everyone's working the whole year for this event, and then it comes in, and perhaps you can see the weaknesses and where things have gone wrong, and you can point them out a little bit easier. It's very easy to poke holes in things after seeing it at a major, the event that cost them the most. And that's where you're definitely going to see some big shuffle-ups here, perhaps towards the top end of the scene as well.
Well, guys, we do have a couple of technical issues here with Hayes, I think, who's now gone missing. So, I mean, not technical issues with Hayes himself. That would be something worse.
I think it's just dropped off the server randomly. It was kind of weird, but...
Yeah, he's dropped off the server, but hopefully he'll... get that one sorted. We do have the admins there working stuff out. So hopefully Hayes will be back here in just a few minutes. But, yeah, there we go. That's why Hayes wasn't sat under his PC, because the admin was under the desk fixing something on it. So once that all gets sorted out, hopefully Hayes can get back in, get his money back, and CLG can look to have a good go at this one. Let's not forget they took that AK through from the last round.
2 AKs.
2 AKs, actually.
That was amazing for that. It was a perfect situation for them to save, right? Because they had weak money going into this round. You see a couple of the players sat on about $2,700, I'd say, average across the board. JDM has $3,900 as the top high roller in the team, so they can use those AKs now to kind of spread the wealth around a little bit and not have to invest so heavily. So I wouldn't be surprised if we saw a reasonable buy hit from them. It'd be definitely a risk. It'd be one of the ones that you have to work out, okay, do we take this one on the chin and try and utilize the AKs with some P250s, and then we look to the future and get the AWP out, or do we go all in again? And this is a problem for American teams at the moment. They're very, I wouldn't say poor, but it's something that definitely lets them down in the bigger games against Europeans, is the economy management. And it's a big decision to take right now. If you lose this round, you're definitely on eco if you force buy it. Or you could look to the future, get the AWPs out, and then you know you can play your full game and your actual strategies going into the next round. So it's a difficult call. I would... now you've got all this time, they've already been talking about this, but I'd say it may be worth the investment with the AKs you have, just to play back a little bit more passive, allow eBettle to do their executes. That's what they seem to be playing and falling back to most of the time, and then just seeing if we can hold those back. But this is definitely going to be an interesting round and pivotal towards the end score.
And I absolutely feel that eBettle, you know, yesterday, that big loss to Fnatic has taken even more pressure away from them. Although, you know, I'm not sure exactly how much pressure they honestly had coming in.
Like they're not a professional team. They don't have this sort of pressure. They're not funded to go all around the world. They don't get professional salaries. They probably get some sort of compensation, but it definitely, like, one of the weaker teams here. We talked about them getting decent results, but as far as I'm aware, I haven't really watched them that much around Europe, especially online. So it's a team, it's an anomaly, but they're not professional players. So there's definitely no pressure going into these games. If they can cause upsets, that's amazing for them. Like, what a rush that must be. But getting knocked out of a tournament like this definitely is what the world's best teams are. You can't really take anything away from that. So.
Right, guys, we are just getting Hayes sorted out here. So while we get that all fixed up, we're going to pass it back over here to Chobra and his friends to break down that game and give you some ideas of what's to come.
And we are here at the NVIDIA Expert Desk. Of course, only a short way into this match, but since we have a chance, why not have you two talk about it? Similar joining us here on the desk, and Moses, you've been here with me through some heartbreaks, but you're still here. Yeah, I know you're still hanging
standing
on. For now, how's it looking? I mean, CLG, are you...
Not good. Not good early on.
I was really hoping that.
I was wondering, because before this was just like, okay, you know, Chobert wasn't here yet, and Moses and I were just like, oh, you can just throw it to us, you know, we'll just like double team CLG real quick, and just go.
Those first few rounds are rough.
Set up a suplex, all right, you know.
Alley-oop.
But like, right now, CLG are definitely, for a map that is supposed to be their strongest map,
right,
they're looking a little hairy right now. It's not looking too good.
Yeah, I mean, can we really accredit that to anything in the first couple of rounds, Moses? Is there anything that really stood out to you from watching that?
Yeah, well, the pistol round, and then even the third round, which is that I mean, they got demolished in the second round. They just barely were lucky to even win that one. But it's that defense. If you're going to play that solo man behind the phone booth, his job isn't necessarily to get kills. He needs to live. And that's Cutler, and he's died a couple times there now before the rotations can come in, and that's giving that complete control to the stairs towards CT spawn. They're actually lucky to win pistol, and that was a little bit of a mistake, it looked like, by eBettle, where they pushed basically their entire team into CT spawn, took it over, but the bomb wasn't planted for him, so it was an easy plant to smoke and just diffuse in the smoke.
Yeah, when they had that kit, they were able to just jump on it. But you're right, you know, you look at the differences between like a player like Olofmeister who plays CT on a site, right, and Cutler, the way that they're approaching it, Olofmeister will fall back and play the angle, he'll play that smoke and wait for the retake. Cutler right right now is just going in, taking those fights. It just seems like everywhere right now CLG are looking a little shaky. When they're kills that they should be getting hands down, no problem, they're kind of fluffing a little bit.
Yeah.
And while you can't really give that kind of opening to a team like eBettle, you know, sure, these aren't like superstars in the scene right now. They're definitely a team that are making their break right. But Pete, Hyper, like these guys still have quite a bit of experience under their belt. So you can't take them lightly. And if CLG continue to play at this level, I think that they're going to be in for a bit of a, well, I mean, not them, North America.
Yeah.
Be in for a bit of a rough weekend here.
Yeah, it's starting to sound like it listening to you two, but
Well, I still got my French side, so I'm all right. You know, Envy are in there, Titan are looking good. But yeah, CLG.
yeah, I mean, especially after again, I mean, the regions start to matter, right? I mean, you have the kind of that regional pride, and you were rooting for C9, and they had a tough break, but didn't get to
C9
go through. And we won't dwell on that too long. I hate to bring it. Some part of me really wants to bring it up. Some part of me wants to just not bring it up to like torture you, but at the same time, yeah, we'll move on.
No, let's not torture Ska, man.
yeah.
Like I was sitting right
know,
there
that's-
watching Ska, and that was heartbreaking.
They looked
Just
devastated. I mean, as a team, all 5 of
heartbreaking.
them. I mean, when we saw them afterwards, and what do you say to that? Right, you can't blame them for that. I mean, it was devastating, even as someone watching. So to be playing in that scenario,
No. You could blame them.
I mean, well, okay.
They played the match.
No, I meant their reactions to it.
their
Rush 2 is a strong map, but at the same time, like Kingwin warmed up on the map. At the same, I feel like they kind of didn't get their draw.
Well, you know what was interesting to me about them is, remember, they gave an interview a few months ago where they're like, we need to learn one of Inferno or Mirage. We have to learn one of those maps. And they said they're going to do the work on Mirage, and they played a match on it, and they beat a pretty good team on it. And they haven't gone back to it since. So I'm so confused as to like what's going on with that portion of their map
You would
pool.
think with an opera like Ska, you want to take Mirage, just be like,
Yeah.
yo, bro, you know, here's
Go nuts.
mid. You go up mid with the op, you know, just
You got
block that
as
down out of the
much
Guardian.
space as you want.
Look at how Na'Vi play the map, right? You know, Guardian is God. Like, he just dominates that map. And Skadoodle could, you know, with the level that he has as an opper, you could see him doing the same.
Yeah, well, as much as I've hyped up Skadoodle as the best opera in the world, one area where he has a lot of
Oh,
weakness.
don't set me up like that, bro.
I know. But one area where he has a lot of weakness is the fact that he's not a very like mobile opera in the sense that they don't rotate him round to round to different positions on the map. Like you could see Kingwin in that match, they went A couple times early on and it just got shut down. Skadoodle would get 1 or 2 kills, the rotations would come in. So then they shifted towards mid and B and they started having a lot of success. That's the time when they could have shifted Skadoodle over to play like the window at B. You watch mid and you can rotate back and watch the B tunnels if you want.
What was heartbreaking is it's like, okay, yes, moving Skadoodle around like the piece, right? But they made the right call. Shangar's made the right call. He got the read. It was the round where it was Tech 9 armor. Just Kingwin running up, YOLO, just, you know, nonstop run with the Tech 9. You get that headshot, that's it. Nothing faces them at doors. That one shot by Rain, he was full blind. I mean, it was the right play. They got the flash off, and Rain is flash. So you think, yeah, okay, free kill, nothing, right?
Yeah.
No,
You think-
he's just clicking with that Tech 9, and at that range, boom, headshot. And then they just kind of keep rolling on from there.
Yeah, it
but
snowballs.
Sean Garrison made the right call. He had 3 guys there ready for that push.
It was, I know that you guys could mourn about this much longer. Of course, I mean, let's not torture everyone else who was watching that. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of just talk about that one. Both, you know, in whether it's constructive criticism or not, there is going to be a talk about that match. But of course, right now, CLG, as you guys said, looking just shaky overall. It sounds like it's more on CLG to bring it back up rather than eBettle just completely surprising them. So for the meantime, we're going to take a quick break and then we'll be able to get back into this game between CLG and eBettle. But of course, also, if you haven't gotten your tickets, again, not too many left, really. I know I keep repeating it, so it sounds like a lie, but it's very, very true. So if you want to see us at the Lanxess Arena, go ahead and secure your tickets and then be back here for the match to continue between CLG and eBettle.
Welcome back, everyone, to ESL Cologne 2015, and we are going to be getting straight back on into the game. As we said, there were a couple of little issues with Hayes' PC, but that is now all fixed, and we are back in. You can see there that AK that they took from the last round, and an instant push there from Cutler will take out Hyper. So kind of as you expected, just adding a 5-7. They got that extra AK now from that kill, and the CZ looking good for CLG.
Yeah, absolutely. And the fact they got the initial frag there as well, it's another AK in their arsenal. And all of a sudden, this looks pretty favourable towards CLG. They haven't got much utility to play with, but the T's being very passive here. You can see they have a player up towards the inner palace as well, rotating the T's background. You would assume that it's the similar A execute we've seen so far from them coming into full effect here. And this is probably a good call. They know the CTs are on a low buy here. So, again, this should be a nice play for them if they can pull it off effectively without losing a man early on. At this point, the CTs probably want to start pushing when they see the smokes coming over.
Oh, I see Hayes here. Sat underneath the balcony, had a flash in hand ready to pop that up towards Palace, but he's going to get burnt here any second. You see the molly coming down there from Rallen. That's going to force him out of his position, may give them a chance here. Hayes will take down Pete, and they've stopped them really on the ramp, making it very difficult for eBettle to get in, but a couple of quick trade of kills will leave us in a 3-on-2 advantage to CLG still, but they've lost the 2 AKs here, let's not forget. It's the 5-7 and the CZ for FNS and JDM, and the bomb has now been planted, but there they come in with those pistols in hand. Will be able to retake the site without losing a single man there, and that will be the defuse as well, and CLG going to take the lead at 3-2.
Yeah, we said that was a very important round going into there. The guys pushed into underpass, got themselves another AK, and were able to reset the round at that point. eBettle had no control over the map after losing that frag. They were forced so far back. The only player they had in any sort of advantageous position was in Palace, so he called in for the A execute, but the frags were exchanged too quickly for them. And of course, CLG take a very important round. We talked about them being in a difficult economic situation. Had they had force support there, they didn't even have the force buy and they won the round. So this puts them right back in contention for winning this map, because you can see, look at this from eBettle now. 2 UMPs. Pretty interesting stuff. It looks like all players are going to be committing towards the B side of the map as well. So this is going to be an interesting play. Not something that really you would advise here, but I guess it's going to be a B execute with the smokes, running in with the UMPs, sending them in as your point men and seeing what they can do at close range.
Well, we'll see what Hyper can do with that. Also, Pete having one in hand, but we can see on the defense, 2 men in B, including one push right up in apartments. We see the big smoke coming over the top there. That will land right in on the site. And were they going to take down these men? No, they're not. It's Tariq and FNS going to combine. Finally, they get rid of Tariq here, which may allow them to push onto site, but the smokes are absolutely everywhere. And with just 2 men left up against 4, not looking so good here for eBettle, but Rallen has managed to get away on towards short. He's got a man to his left there, who will actually, I think, spot him, but let him go through. Hyper did get one before he was finally picked off, and there is Cutler to finish off the round. So not working out for eBettle. It was a big defense inside of the apps from FNS and Tariq.
The problem with those kind of plays is as well, you're not showing anything on the other side of the map. There's no pressure anywhere else. No one, the CTs get full relaxation across the map, and then 2 UMPs and there's some smokes into B running through. They got completely shut down. It was so obvious as to what was going on. As soon as you see those smokes flying over the top of the map, you drop a Molotov there, and you saw how effective that was for them. So difficult round to watch for eBettle, I'm afraid. And CLG looking very strong now. The AWP finally coming out for them, but a Palace rush coming in for eBettle now, and not much to buy. This one trying to get a bomb down this.
Oh, that nade has absolutely wrecked them there, and that's going to be 2 men dying almost instantly, and they're just going to fall like dominoes in this one. Grubby only got 17 health. He's backed away into apartments once again. JDM will find an easy shot, and Rallen is now the only man left alive. He's backed off in towards that T-spawn, but not really much to work with here. No armor, no nades, just sat there with his Glock and hoping that he gets some, well, I think he was just randomly firing there. I'm not sure that he was particularly trying anything whatsoever.
So obviously they didn't invest pretty much anything into the round. They just wanted to clear everything, get out Palace, get the bomb down and try and get some money on their side. It's going to be a difficult situation for them now. Obviously Rallen's going to be the last man remaining with a Glock, and he will get taken down by JDM. That's the 5th round on the board for CLG, looking very strong right now. And like I said, now JDM has the AWP out. That's when they come into their element. They've got the terrorist up against the ropes in terms of economy. They can't buy their own AWP repeat here. So far, all we've really seen from them is the set pieces onto bomb sites. We haven't seen them work middle or gain the control, like smoking out key positions and working in to either connector or short. That's what most teams will do and try and push the CTs back so they lose that intel. It's just been quite readable plays so far. But let's see what they do. Again, all 5 players going towards the A bomb site. This can be good in some situations, but when you do it round after round, the set pieces, it comes very readable. And you can see JDM here now. He'll probably take this player down, and that opens up the round and secures it pretty much for the CTs. The terrorists won't be able to do their full execution now, and now you really do have to favour CLG in this round.
Losing Hyper, who during the qualifiers went absolutely massive for eBettle, and JDM will just be racking them up left and right here. That's a hat-trick for him already this round. We'll have one man pushing up close. They did get the 1 kill onto Cutler, but again, Pete will be left alone, and he's going to back off again into that T-spawn. Does have the bomb with him, but, well, he's up against 4, and his chances are pretty slim at this point.
Next to none, I have to say. He hasn't got the... Well, he actually has got the bomb, but coming into this bomb site, 3 players waiting for him. He may get 1 kill, but it's going to be elementary at this stage. He won't be able to get onto the side, but he's going to try. JDM on that round completely locked him down. Like I said, when you're doing set pieces onto the A bomb site and allowing... That's the whole thing. As soon as you lose 1 man, that tactic falls apart and you don't have the key parts to the execution. So the whole idea of the terrorist side is you need to be getting control of middle, you need to be pressuring the CTs first, pushing them back, taking them out of position so they don't have the advantage across the board, but it's just not happening right now. We talked about CLG being so strong in this map, but right now it's eBettle just making pretty basic mistakes and playing a pretty predictable game, unfortunately, for them. We can see them now going into yet another eco. It's not going to have much. They have some P250s, 1 set of armor, but without the utility, once again, they have 2. Actually, they've got a few smokes. I guess it's just going to be that B play again, perhaps, but should be pretty easy to be called off.
Yeah, they have a massive advantage weapon-wise here, and shouldn't be too difficult as the Molly going into underpass, and that will stop Grubby in his tracks. The Ori, of course, lost Rallen at the start of the round, so he's already done and dusted for this one. They've pretty much called this one perfectly. JDM is actually going to drop in there. Bomb is down there as well, and it was just Furlan there to pick one up onto JDM, and they'll take the up through into the next round anyway. So for eBettle, just the 1 kill.
This is the round where you'll see CLG do something pretty aggressive. Like after you know eBettle are going to be trying to react to what's going on and try and bring something else to the board. If CLG are thinking cleverly, they're going to be pushing up and shutting down whatever reaction that eBettle have here. So wouldn't be surprised. That's what the better team will always do. And let's see what they bring to the table this time. You can see they're going towards that area now, but it seems like it will be a standard play. But for once, eBettle not going to a full-on set piece, but JDM taking down Rallen there, and it's going to open up the board once again.
Well, it was aggression in Palace on the last gun round that we saw, and it's again JDM, this time sniping down that A ramp to get the first kill of the round. Boost up here onto the bricks, and, well, Hyper will take down Tyric, so able to bring this one even, but the next kill going to be absolutely massive for them. That flash, as you can see, has blinded 3 of them inside of middle. They were about to push JDM's position, but that forces them back. But JDM here, if he peeked a little further to his left, you would have had a clear shot there. Flashes coming up connector, so they know roughly where they're going to be coming in. Smokes from Furlan from the back, but I still think this is going to be real hard to push through with JDM. They will finally smoke out jungle and connector, so they may now be able to push up short.
So this is a much better approach from eBettle. This is how you play Mirage. You need to get that mid-contention, find yourself a frag at least, and put pressure on the CTs. That's exactly what they've done. And here comes the reaction now. They need to find a frag of themselves, and Hyper actually answers back and takes down the key player, JDM. FNS gets one of his own. Now it's a 3-on-3 situation. This does favour the teasers. They make their way to the B bomb side.
Here we go then. Flashes down already. They've passed the first couple of windows here. FNS holding strong on short, waiting for that backup to come in, but Grubby will get the better of him. So only 2 men left here for CLG. They're going to be mollied away as the bomb is planted by eBettle. Hayes and Cutler. It's Hayes coming in from short. The man will get hit there on bench, but he's going to stay hidden as Grubby takes out Cutler. It's going to have to be a big clutch for Hayes, and I think he says, you know what, got a couple of nades in there, kit, full armor, and my M4. I'm not going to win this round 1 versus 3. I will try and make it a little more expensive, maybe carry this AWP through into the next round for JDM, but he needs to be careful on his timing here because Furlan was just waiting. He's not being popped there, so that actually keeps him a little safer at this point. We do see that AWP picked up for Hazed, and they're not going to find him in time here, so he'll pull that through, but nonetheless, third round on the board for eBettle.
Yeah, much more standard approach from them that time. They actually got the control of the middle area, got to pick themselves, and that's when it got confusing for the CTs. They made their way onto B, and it really came into their own there. So now we can see the reaction. I think JDM still does have the AWP. They did pick one up last round, so no AWP for Team eBettle yet. So they're going to probably be running a very similar strategy. That worked out well for them that round, so there's no reason why not to do the same thing. You can see that smoke coming towards. This is the round I was talking about last time. The CT's pushing up middle now, trying to get the early frag to battle their reaction from eBettle.
Well, Cutler will actually go down, and they pick off FNS as well. Wow, and Tarek there from short. So a three-man aggressive push towards middle, and all three of them fall in just really a swap for Grubby. So not exactly the ideal exchange here for CLG, as we see a bit of a distraction over by A. The bomb's actually in T-spawn and running kind of north and south, wondering, okay, are we going to go A here or are we going to end up going B? We're not quite sure about this one. So he's just going to sit back there, but with just two men left, they're actually in a better position here, CLG, if that bomb goes over to A.
Yeah, so right now the CTs are just trying to stick together and gain some information. They've got the AWP anchoring the A site, watching towards short as well. Obviously, they're putting all their eggs in one basket here towards the A site, but you really do not have much to play with when you're in a 2-on-4 situation. You see the smoke taking away the vision there. That's going to add to the confusion, but he has got vision as well. Hayes could do well here.
Let's see what he can pull off. Rallan actually sneaking in below him. Did manage to escape there with just 8 health, but the bomb is still coming A here. They're going to have 3 men coming towards it. It's JDM with the AWP in hand to pick off Furlan first of all. He's got another one connected. That grenade might actually kill him. He does manage to back away, and he missed the shot there onto Pete. That was a close one, but eBettle able to close it out. It's 7-4 now, so a couple of rounds in a row for the Polish side.
Look at the money on Hayes as well. He's got so much there, rolling with 12k. So far they haven't really they pushed up middle that time. That was the round I suggested they should have done maybe before, as it would have been the surprise, had the surprise element really. I think it was quite obvious Team eBettle were ready for that. They were sitting at the top of middle, waiting for CTs to push up. It's going to be pretty similar stuff here. The exact same setup. I think eBettle have learned their lesson. They're not just running the set pieces anymore. They're just getting in and making sure they get control of the map and then react to what the CTs are doing. So more of a standard round. We can see some aggression from JDM once again in that connector area. Rallan trying to show some presence towards B. This frag's going to be important.
He's got a couple of shots off there. Only took, I think, one for his pleasure, but a nade damage possibly in there as well. He pushed up fairly early, hoping to get that opener, but that didn't work out for him. So it's back to that more spread start. But the bomb is coming back towards middle. They've just left it there on their side of middle, just for safekeeping. And they're stacking 3 men towards mid, wondering where JDM is. Where is that AWP going to be stationed? On short for now, and he may have a chance to get involved here. There's the first man actually hopping down in the end, as Hayes will open up the frags. There's a chance for JDM, but Hyper hopping around the corner. Instant headshot onto JDM. And Hyper, we saw him getting kills from this position in that last round, and he may get himself more once again. Rallan will be the man pushing. FNS is already backed up towards Kitchen, but he gets the better there of Rallan. So we're down to a 4-on-3 advantage for CLG. And it's looking like this bomb is going to be going to the B side, but there's 1 man defending still.
Yeah, that was really nice from Hyper. I actually would have preferred them to stay together and not sacrifice 1 man there, but they're going to be going to this side, 1 CT waiting for him. What can Tarek do to hold them off? 14 seconds remaining.
Well, the answer is not a lot. He gets taken by Hyper to bring this to a level playing field. FNS coming in straight through the door. A good little flash might be the death of Hyper, but Grubby there giving him some good backup. The 2 men inside of Kitchen are going to start to push on through. Hyper going to defend from short. Grubby will be up close and personal here and really playing the time to his advantage. It's now all down to Hayes, who's got a big job on his hands there. The spray down from Grubby, and they will finish it off. A real nice round once again from eBettle.
Yeah, taking it nice and slow, working at what the CTs are doing and just reacting to that. It's going really nicely for them now. They are grinding the CT economy down slowly. You can see Hayes, they still did have a huge bankroll. So this round should potentially knock them down to an eco here. So this is the one they want to try and win. Again, they're just running the full rifle setup, but they don't really need to change anything here. Maybe like a cheeky rush could like be something they could bring to the mix, but just keep working middle, getting the picks. They are convincingly getting every single time. But see, Grubby is going for some mid aggression. That's a little bit of a questionable push by yourself through the smoke as well. Kind of sacrifice himself on that A ramp, but sometimes, like I said, you go for these big picks to surprise him, but Hayes wants a piece of the action himself and he'll be pushing up mid. This is kind of a weird play. After you get the first frag on the board, you probably want to fall back to the bomb site and not take these risks. It's not really a calculated risk at this stage. It's more like if you die, that's giving the advantage back to the terrorist. But of course, he makes his way back to the bomb site and they reset the round.
Bomb remains here in T-spawn. Will get thrown over there, so Bomb will be going direction B. They did have one man off towards 8 though to maybe make a little bit of noise. Couple of flashes over the top. That was Furlan, who will then be joining the rest of his teams here. His team in apps. The mollies and smoke over towards Connector, and they just clip in the wall there. I'm not sure they quite meant for that to happen. But look at Tarek here on the windowsill. Will pick up the first kill of this push, but they're going to keep coming here. FNS then onto Furlan. It's all of a sudden all on Rallen. 1 versus 4. This is a monumental task for him to pull off. He does manage to get the bomb plant down to his credit. Can he find the kills? No, he can't. It's FNS that will take him out, and Bomb will be defused here. So CLG finally bouncing back after losing a few in a row.
So that was interesting. That first pick onto the A ramp, that's where it fell apart. And I said that was a questionable decision. Sometimes it can be viable just to go up and see whether an easy frag when you know they're low money. But running through a smoke and like almost having no escape plan in that situation was almost suicide. So that's going to give CLG the cash they needed. We talked about that round being very important. It would push them onto an eco potentially as well. So good bounce back from them, and that's 3 in a row for eBettle, and now CLG finally get one on the board, and we go into the 14th round now, and they get the AWP back as well. But interesting enough, Pete has picked up the AWP this time as well, so a change of pace for them. You can see him actually challenging for the first time in middle.
Let's see if he has an opportunity to have a go at JDM. I think he was just in window there. That was smoked off by eBettle, so not really much of a 1 versus 1 between those two AWPers. Right, it's a slow start for eBettle this time again. As we do see Pete actually picking up the first kill onto FNS. Hayes will be bringing things back. And all of a sudden, we are in a 4 versus 4. There's a flash through from Hayes. Let's see what he can find. Will take down Pete there. So AWP is down there for eBettle. I think they will try and bring that through maybe with someone else. Rallam, in the meantime, has pushed all the way through onto those B apartments, so he's making noise and drawing a couple of men over. There's actually 3 going to be coming towards this B site, but look at the minimap. The bomb is actually headed towards A.
This could work out really well. Rallen doing a really convincing distraction every day, peeling away CTs, and that should allow the bomb to come towards A now. But there's going to be a CT, it's going to be Cutler waiting for him. He should get a pretty easy crack here, and there it is. Grubby goes down, it's going to leave Hyper as the last man remaining. That's a very convincing round for CLG. That AWP just not effective for Team eBettle whatsoever. Didn't really seem to find any sort of control with that. But there we go. We talked about why CLG is so strong in this map, but it seems like calculated risk they're taking, like Hayes pushing through that smoke with a flashbang there, just getting them, when it's a 4-on-4 situation, you favour the T's, and he knew that as well. You needed to get a frag back, and it looked like it worked perfectly for him. So we go into this last round now. The T's may have a little bit of a struggle for cash right. Let's see what this is going for them.
Well, they've spent up absolutely everything, and we see Tech 9's in there, P250, and the AK for Rallen, but he'll be basically glass cannon there, got no armor whatsoever, and there is a first couple of kills coming in the way of CLG, and again it's a cheeky peek onto mid, and it nets them a 5 versus 3, not long into the round. There's a push through from Rallen, and well, no armor running through smoke like that, you're never going to have a good time of things. They do have Pete pushing in there, but FNS in from behind, and that was another quick cleanup from CLG, and a 10-5 half-time score. I mean, is a CLG going to be happy with this one, and is that enough for eBettle to, really turn this one around?
I think CLG will be disappointed with the way the game started for them. After winning the pistol, they seemed to they got the economy ground down. There was some very close and questionable rounds going into there, and they allowed eBettle to have so many big plays into the bomb sites. But I think 10-5, it's fine for them. Like, we know how strong they are on the T side. It was just a lot of mistakes from both teams, really. Like, we saw eBettle just doing set pieces, full-on executed to start it around for about 3 or 4 times, and then they worked out what they needed to do and stopped playing the map properly, working mid-control and making sure they got picks on the map. And that's when they turned it around. It was just CLG reacting to that. We saw them pushing up middle. Didn't really work out for them, but at least they were experimenting with different ideas on how they could get the first frag and get the advantage back in their favour. But interesting half nonetheless. It was some weird approaches from both teams. I think eBettle's set pieces from the get-go were definitely a questionable decision.
We also have Navi watching eagerly this game. Of course, they will be taking on the winner straight away afterwards. And yes, CLG the favourites for this one, but we've said it before, eBettle, don't be fooled by that 16-2 loss to Fnatic yesterday. They certainly have some potential to cause upset. But of course, this will be the time to do it. They lose this one, it'll be their second loss, and they will go out of ESL One Cologne.
And we said there's literally no pressure on them whatsoever
Yeah.
in this tournament. They're just here enjoying themselves. They get good results. That's amazing for them. But no one's expecting them to really get out of the groups, unfortunately. I don't think anyone would have tipped that. But CLG, the pressure is on them. They want to prove themselves within Europe. They're the team that's always getting so close to taking maps off teams, but unfortunately it doesn't seem to happen for them. IEM, we see them get 4 decent results, but didn't actually win a map. So that's when this is the point. They want to get out of the group stages and show they can compete at this level.
Yeah, it's been a little bit tough, I think, for CLG. You know, getting so close and not actually winning those games is, I think, almost worse than just bombing out of a tournament straight away, because you know you were just so close to it, and you know that just indicates that it's not massive things that are wrong with CLG. It's just that one maybe last thing that they need to click properly to turn those tides. We'll see here though, because we are going into the second half. It's 10-5 for CLG. Of course, now moving on to the terrorist side, and that is an instant dink to Pete. He's down to just 12 health, and that is not the start that eBettle will have been looking for. That is a better one, though. Roland will take out Tariq, but the rush is going to be pushing towards this B side. That's a good couple of shots onto the man who drops out from balcony. Can they get the bomb plant in here? eBettle are doing a fantastic job of holding them off long enough. Roland is going to come back into this one. He's currently sat on 3 kills. Grubby will help him with that, and now Cutler left all alone. He was the man here with no armor, buying up a couple of nades for this one, and well, he's going to find it very, very tough. Although Hyper and Pete both low HP, so if he can take out one of the higher health players at the start, it might help him out, but Hyper comes in from the side, and eBettle picking up Pistol. Now it gets interesting.
That was really nice from eBettle, you know, like that's one of my favorite CT pistols to do. You can't allow the terrorists to go five Glocks into one of the bomb sites. You need to work out where they are, what plans they're coming up with. They pushed down middle, and though he got a headshot, he gained information. He was called there was one person towards middle. There wasn't much more else going on there, and then they saw the spot into B as well, fell back, made the shots, forced them out of the apartments. Actually a really nice round for them. So they get themselves right back into the series. We don't see a forced buy from CLG, didn't get the bomb down, so it's kind of questionable. But that pick is a very good start for them, although they took a lot of damage in that mid area there.
Yeah, to be fair to Pete, he did land a good couple of shots there before he went down, softened them up a little bit. And these SMGs, what do we have with Grubby and Hyper? Of course, a Mag 7 for Furlan, and the FAMAS for Rallan should be able to close out this round and be a tough one to swallow for eBettle if they were to somehow end up losing out on this round. Can't see it myself at this point, but
when they've only got one flashbang to work with and the HP is so low, you can see them rallying towards the A bomb site, but what can you do here? You just kind of all go out together and you'll just get shut down. They have the UMPs there, but as long as they play the sites properly, it shouldn't be a problem whatsoever for eBettle.
And a nade could kill 3 of them off at this point, so not exactly in the ideal scenario. Hayes did manage to get through there into the window room, but as he starts to push, good little flash there up towards the Palace entrance, and these SMGs making light work of what is left of CLG. Cutler and FNS, last 2 men alive from this one. They've only got 30 seconds as well, so time pressing on a little bit. There's the Mag 7 from Furlan around the back from Jungle to finish off, and eBettle converting nicely there, losing the 1 man with the scout though, who really softened up a couple of targets for them at the start.
So no bomb down as well. So they need to make the decision now. Will they be investing in the Tech 9s and armor? It probably, I'd imagine they may do this one just to try and get one of the executes on the site. So they saw the UMPs were out there as well. And you can see that actually they'll just be doing Tech 9s. And it's pretty much a save. They were doing an execute onto the site. They're all 5 players going towards A. That is literally an attempt to get the bomb down here. So they'll be throwing the smokes over, a few flashbangs, and if any kills they get are a bonus, but it's literally just an attempt to get the bomb down and make sure they have a very strong economy going into the next.
Well, let's see. Stacking up there, waiting a little bit here on 8. There come the smokes over the top. Let's see what CLG can do with this one. Here's the first couple of kills coming in. Made from Rallan, and, well, it's easy peasy at this point for them. Yeah. JDM in middle, all left alone, up against 5, basically 5 full HP as well. So, no chance. I'm going out on a limb with that one.
Yeah, so like I said, the only chance I had really was getting a bomb down and just boosting economy for the next round, potentially get the AWP out, but it was pretty simple for eBettle, and they get themselves a pretty decent economy now because they didn't drop a single player there. Be interesting to see how they approach the next round, right? Because they saved those UMPs and the FAMAS, for example, but the idea is a lot of times you can save those guns to do something audacious into the next round and see what you can do. And maybe you can, we saw Fnatic do it against Navi, for example, pushing down Banana, taking down the AKs and trying to just surprise them and utilizing the weapons you currently have. Or you take the option and you upgrade them. It seems like they will keep one UMP, but drop the other. So that is interesting to see what Grubby can do with that.
Let's see what he decides to go for. The mass still in there as well for Rallen. 4 AKs and the AWP of JDM for the start of this. Hayes is going to open things up onto Grubby on that A site, and a big push there, but Pete's done some good damage with Rallen there. That FAMAS working out so far. Finally they do pick off Rallen, but Hyper is going to set the bomb site alight, and there will get the kill as well onto Hayes. So a 3-on-2 advantage actually for eBettle, but JDM in a crucial position in Palace here with that AWP. Tariq on the site itself will spray down one. Could headshot the man or get headshot himself. It's Pete that takes that one. The smoke will force JDM to now make a decision. When is he going to peek? He's going to peek now, and Pete will take him down. The defuse already in there, and eBettle coming in, retaking the bomb site and bring it back to a 10-9 game.
Absolutely. That smoke really did just win in the round. JDM stuck in a very difficult position there. They had the bomb down. When you have an AWP pushing through smoke, you're always going to lose that battle. So a huge round for eBettle, but getting the bomb down again, CLG can use the lost round bonus to their favour and get 5 AKs out again this round, but it's going to look at the economy for the CTs. They're doing very well right now. They've got a lot of cash in the bank, and they can keep going. They're rolling very nicely. That's 4 in a row for them. So what's the reply from CLG here? How they get back into this? Looks like they're going to go with a similar approach, get the mid control and try and get picks on the CTs and force them back to the bomb sites.
I think Kadia made a good point. A team like CLG, gaming house, professional players have to win games like this. eBettle, no pressure, you know, semi-professionals, I guess we can call them at this point, having, you know, jobs at the side as well. And to be honest as well, now America's last hope at ESL One. So we'll figure this one out. Is Hyper going to peek around, and Cutler had no idea that that push was coming in there. So we are down to a 4 versus 4. And it's a fairly deep defense though from eBettle. Not going to be easy here, I think, for CLG to push through. Only got a couple of flashes, smoke, and 1 molly to work with at this point.
Yes, they literally, you can see Hayes in that connector area. He's just trying to gain intel. It's going to be such a strong position. Hyper's going to be aware of this now. He's just seen some terrorists towards middle, but this next frag's going to be huge. They haven't really got anyone watching, but Grubby now can feel something is coming, and this is going to be huge. This is where it all comes together for them. All 4 players going through that connector area.
Grubby is actually backed away from there. He's going to loop through to CT spawn. And Rallen playing on ramp. He's expecting to come on T-spawn, but there he is. Peeks around. That's bomb down now, so they know exactly where they're going to be going from this one. They do finish off Rallen, but Grubby will be coming in as well. Furlan will grab one. Hayes is down to just 2 health at this point. JDM has got to be the hero here for CLG. Here is Furlan coming around from connector. They picked off one, and Grubby will double up to win the round and tie up the game at 10 apiece. CLG looking a little wobbly here on the T side.
I'm not sure how CLG were allowed to walk into the bomb site so freely, to be honest. That was a gift in itself, but they took so long to actually make that move. There was around 15 seconds left on the clock when the bomb started going down, and then Rallen in that great position on A ramp just came around, shut that down, and then panic ensued for the team. So they're looking stronger. That's 5 in a row, I think, now for Team eBettle. And we didn't expect this going into this series. We thought CLG would lock this down, and now they're onto an eco as well. eBettle are going to be taking the lead this round.
Incredible stuff here. Of course, the loser of this game will be going home. The winners will face Navi for a shot at the quarterfinals. That'll come up straight away after this one. I hope you have 2 more groups as well. There is a first kill for Cutler, so this one not done just yet. First kill going the way of CLG, but Furlan here is going to be a big man for them. Sat on the back there by bench. Tariq actually getting over into the A-bomb site, and that's going to bring questions into the minds of eBettle. But there is Pete on the B-bomb site. He's seen the bomb being dropped there as well, and now he will be able to bring his teammate around. It's Hayes and Tariq. Tariq with the M4 might be the ace for CLG, but we'll have to find out about that one, because defense is pretty deep and very high HP at this stage for eBettle.
They've got the bomb as well, so it's going to be very difficult. They need to find a frag right now. They've got 1 M4 to play with, but CT is just trying to hold them off as long as possible.
35 seconds. Move has to come shortly, and they will just combine there, both hitting their shots, and eBettle pulling off the lead. And, you know, as far as an eco goes, he wasn't all that bad from CLG,
Definitely
bringing
not.
it down to a just 2 men left.
It got a little bit hairy there towards the B bomb site. Frags being made all over the map as well. We saw Hayes causing a distraction towards A, taking one down with the P250. And I think eBettle got a sigh of relief there just because it got so close. But of course, that's a 6th round on the board for them now, and this is the reaction from CLG. They need to work out how they can get back into these rounds. We haven't really seen that much from them, to be honest, and now the CT's actually pushing up. They're changing the game. This is really nice. Grubby's going to be the point man in the front. Doesn't make the frag though. Hayes takes him down, but there's the reply as well. And for the first time in a long time, CLG have the advantage in this round.
Yep. 2-for-1 exchange there up mid. Tarek down to just 12 health though, so could be easily finished off. And look at this, Pete gonna peek out. He's got one man just below in there from window, which he'd not quite seen. And JDM will be taking a peek, looking to pick off one more and give that advantage even further to the hands of CLG. But Rallen here up on the box. JDM is going to peek out, and, well, your scope's pretty, or your barrel's pretty long at that stage. You see it coming out a long time before you actually peek it. Now Pete, though, will find himself alone as Rallen goes down and wisely backs away so that he can get the support from Hyper, who's going to be coming in through connector. Tariq, as I mentioned, into double figures, or low double figures, and now dead. And it's just on Hyper, 1 versus 2. We saw him clutch a 1v2 yesterday to win a round against Fnatic. This time around, though, he would have been smoked out there from connector. He's pushed right on through that one, didn't care too much about it. There's one man directly on the site, which you'll spot there as he drops down into Sandwich. There's his first target. Will be Cutler to go down. Molotov is going to be burning off towards that CT spawn. He's got to peek it here. He knows that he can't just hold on to that defuse because of the position on it. There is the fake for him. There's a peek as well from FNS to come out, and CLG finally get around on the board here in the second half.
Yeah, so we saw that eBettle pushing up middle, trying to have that surprise factor we discussed before. Again, the same outcome came from it when CLG tried it. Both men getting taken down, and it gave the advantage towards CLG, and I think that was obviously instrumental going into that round. It allowed them, it did come down to a 1-on-1 in the end, which could have gone either way. We saw that retake being reasonably successful, but CLG finally get around on the board, and that's going to be the first in 8 as well. So they've got to work out how they can get into these rounds without eBettle gifting one to them. That's so weird. Look at the money now for eBettle. The rounds have been so close. They're actually on an eco after winning 7 in a row.
Incredible stuff. We do have a deagle there in the hand of Pete. With the 5-7s mixed in there as well. So not zero firepower here, but certainly not really a match for those AKs and the AWP that CLG have. They have brought this one back, though, to a 4 versus 4, and Furlan's going to come from underground and see if he can maybe get his hands on a weapon. That AK, a juicy possibility for him there. He's actually managed to get in and maybe get out of this one. He manages to take out Cutler, and CLG here on the anti-eco, struggling a little bit with things. They will all once again be meeting up. Can Furlan... they didn't spot him, I think, there in mid. And if they did, they may just be able to cut him off. It was Hyper that just went underground. There is Hayes making light work of Grubby, but here is Hyper coming through. JDM will pick off him, and it's all of a sudden down to just Furlan, spraying down towards that B site and towards Tariq, who does finish him off. And just a couple of health left, but CLG regain the lead at 12 rounds to 11.
It looked a little bit scary there when the frags were being exchanged in middle. It seems like CLG were being a little bit sloppy, not having the people there to reply back to the frags, but Hayes picking up a big frag onto the B side, that really did secure it, and they got themselves the second round in a row on the board. So that, like I said, that was interesting. After winning 7 in a row, eBettle go onto an eco here, but they have a very strong buy now. So maybe they're looking into the long game, getting the AWP back on their back. It's going to be Pete locking down this connector area. But we see a very fast strat coming in from CLG now, trying to get control of that connector area right away.
And they need to be careful, though, because Pete is up close and personal. Will take Hayes, will take Cutler as well. A brilliant little double there from Pete to start off the round. The bounce back round, really, for eBettle. His opposite number there, JDM, though, also bringing a frag for CLG. So a 4-on-3. As we're about to hit 1 minute remaining of the round. Looks like Bomb will be headed more towards that B bomb site at this stage. A couple of men pushing up there through apartments. But Furlan will spot them coming early on here.
It's going to be a difficult entrance for CLG. You can see they've only got a couple of Molotovs to play with. They can't smoke on any key choke points. They're going to be definitely looking for a frag. We can see Furlon actually just spotting for info now. Now he's got that info. Just hold them off as long as possible. They're going to have to force in now, and this next frag's obviously huge.
Oh, I thought that was a good flash. They must have turned it at the last second there, as FNS will get one. Pete missing the shot there onto the man dropping down, and they've managed to get the bomb plant in. We're in a 3-on-3 scenario. JDM up in the apps will have to play things defensively here. Have the cover of that bomb when it really comes down to it. Tariq playing from bench. What can he do? He gets the first kill there onto Rallen. May even pick up the second one here. He's taken Grubby incredibly low. It is FNS that comes around the side to get that one. And I think Pete has said, well, I'm not going to get this now. I'm going to keep this AWP. But CLG there holding on after it looked a little bit daunting for them, losing the 2 men early.
Yep, that was a great reaction from FNS as well. Good synergy of the teamwork. They knew where the city was, isolated them on the side, guaranteed themselves around. We have saved an AWP here from Pete. He got those 2 huge frags and connected. You thought that round was tied up, but obviously the reaction came back in. JDM got a frag of his own and he went towards B, and we talked about that big frag towards the van area. He wasn't able to do anything, like a decent flash going off, but perhaps in that situation he was getting information, but as soon as he spotted them, I'd have liked him to fall back to the bomb site. Instead of waiting to die in that isolated area, you need to go back, give yourself a position where you can at least challenge and then have a place to fall back to. So that was the big frag that counted, and you can see now they have an AWP, but they're in touching distance of losing this game, and they have 1 gun and 4 pistols. So Pete pushing on the short area, seeing what he can find here, but the terrorist team is going straight towards B, and SLB doing a very fast play here.
In the box. Oh, actually good damage coming in there. Pete will finish off Tariq there. There's 1 man in apps and 1 man by the van. JDM did have a little bit of a peek out, and now flash and nade down towards Pete to try and keep him away. Rallen also gonna come up. He's got a man behind him there. I was gonna say Cutler was looking his direction. He'll say, all right, I'll mop up the ones coming around the back here. It will be Hyper next on the menu there for Cutler. And Pete will once again back away, try and keep this AWP through into the next one. But he's going to have 4 men possibly trying to hunt him down at this point. You can see that 2 of them already in A. One's going to be coming through into T-spawn as well. They now know his position, and Pete is going to have to come up absolutely huge to hold on to this one. He gets the first kill, but Hayes was pushing back in around the back. So they take the AWP, they take the round, and move up to 14-11.
Yeah, definitely a wise choice to hunt him down, take the AWP. They can't afford to let him keep that round. It'd be so impactful, especially on Mirage. It's all about moving the AWP around, surprising the terrorists, and they've taken it off him now. And the economy should be okay for them. They didn't force buy that round. It's pretty disciplined from them as well, especially when you save the AWP. Your natural instinct is to try and force buying, force the issue. But here we go then, 14-11. Full buy to the CTs, and you see the terrorist team is going back to the mid standard and seeing what they can do with them now.
eBettle really need a couple of rounds in a row here. Well, they're pushing CLG. I mean, up to 11 rounds to the 14 on the American side. Certainly a decent performance so far, but they need that spark. They need someone to really step up and go big for them a couple of rounds in a row to get right back into this one. That man may just be Hyper here on short. They've heard the footsteps. Yeah. But didn't get a chance to open things up. It's a slower start, more careful start here for CLG.
Yeah, we saw Hyper, and then they've got the crossfire with Furlon on the back of the site there. Now, again, they have this information, but they're ready for this time. Pete takes on FNS, and this is beautiful from eBettle. Great crossfires, expected what was coming in, and there's a big play from them, and they answer back straight away. So CLG trying to smoke out all the key areas, get up short together, but it was a little bit too obvious. Again, they didn't show any presence towards A. The CTs rotated straight away towards B and allowed them to get those crossfires. The AWP was there to back them up this time, and it was a very convincing round for them. So great response, and it looks like they will be taking this all the way.
Well, I said a couple of people might need to step up, and apparently Pete and Hyper were aware of that situation, managing to win it all on their own, which may knock the confidence somewhat of CLG. Certainly will start to knock their bank balance if they don't watch out for this one. There is FNS already pushing up, with Cutler now joining him in mid as well. So they've got a full mid control here. JDM will be coming out through Palace, but look at the work that's been done here by Grubby. He's now underneath them. Pete will snipe off JDM. He was trying to find where Grubby was at that point, and that leaves us with just 2 men remaining here for CLG. Rallen going to be watching from connector. That's an easy first kill. Can't quite finish the second, but he's got 4 teammates left that can do the job for him, and it's 14-13. We heard earlier on 16-13 would be a typical CLG score at this point, but, well, eBettle are giving them a few troubles.
they're going to be right up against the ropes now. They need to work out whether they force buy with the Tech 9s and try and do an execute onto the site. So far, they've relied so much on the standard rounds. When they're trying to close the series out, they need to just do the Hail Mary play, maybe just do a set piece. We saw so much from eBettle, but it seems like they're not finding these entry kills anymore. And the reaction from eBettle has been great. They actually rotating the AWP around, making sure they're backing their teammates up, setting up these great crossfires. And we may be taking a pause here by the looks of things. Is that happening?
It looks that way. I have my finger on my cough button there.
I think that's probably a wise choice here. It seems like CLG need to work out how they approach this last round. Do they allow it to go towards the match point with an eco here? Or do they try and force up and go in with weak Galils, Tech 9s, for example? It's going to be a difficult decision. And when it's this stage of the tournament, knowing your next decision could be the reason you go out of the whole tournament, that's definitely a good reason to take a pause in my book.
And how does that decision get made at this point? You know, is it Cutler saying, this is what we're doing, boys, and this is how it's going to go? Or is it more of a, what do we do here? We have to make a decision together.
It's definitely a discussion. And this is this is the hardest part of being an in-game leader, right? You need to work out what's going to be the best decision. You need to look at the percentages. Sure, you could buy Tech 9s and you could smoke the bomb, so you could potentially get a bomb down. But judging by the buy that CTs have right now and the way they're playing and holding very passively, it's going to be a difficult round to win. And then even if you get the bomb down, you go into the last round without that full buy. So it's going to be a huge decision for them. And you can see them trying to work it out now. What's going to be the best play for them? I wouldn't like to say where I'd go. I'd probably say they've got one round to play with. They've got that bed, so it wouldn't go straight to match point. eBettle will just be balancing things out. So definitely take the eco on the chin, I'd say, and try and look to the future and make sure you come into the rounds knowing that you went and you lost the gun rounds instead of forcing the issue with the Tech 9s, for example.
May very well be the wiser choice here for CLG, but this is the elimination game, you know, so can't afford to make the mistake at this point.
At the same time, you can do the big plays, you take the risks, and then you reap the rewards. Like it's a double-edged sword, really. You need to work out how you want to finish, in style or safely. So let's see what they do. The guys look pretty calm. There's not much discussion going on there. I think they're just maybe getting ready to get back into it, but definitely a series we didn't see going this far, I don't think. Anyway, this is pretty crazy, but here we go. And they are going to be taking the full EK by the looks of it. I didn't see any armor for the team, but it's going to put things in touching distance of match points for eBettle. And there we go. Rallen opens it up onto Cutler, and it seems like it's going to be a full-on B take towards Furlan, waiting for them as well. He's been playing pretty passively. He gets a position, like we said. He doesn't fall back to the bomb site. He waits around the van area and allows the T's to swarm him.
And that grenade may well just kill them all off. Doesn't actually do as much damage as I thought it would, but the weapon of Hyper here, that M4 rattling off, will make it a bit of an easy one for him. And in the end, it is going to be 4 kills for Hyper to finish off the round. So we're tied now at 14-14. CLG going to have money back. This is where we see, was it the right decision there to go in for that full eco? Can they handle the pressure?
I think they can. I think that was the right decision. So they can go into this, they can choose something out of the playbook, maybe something a little bit new, but they've got the AWP again. So I assume it's going to be more of the same, trying to take the mid control. They seem to favor connector, but Pete is doing a huge play right now, dropping down to middle, going for that first frag. He's right in the open as well, missing that shot. That could be him dead. He goes down to 8 HP, and that is crazy that he didn't die there. Huge risk by him, but just about gets away with it.
Balls of steel, really, from Pete at this stage of the game. They'll be pushing out there. FNS already pushed up inside connector. A swift molly, though, will stop them pushing on completely through. And Pete is going to basically have one shot before he's dead at this range. At this point of things, only 8 health remaining after that one. And the push is going to be coming up from short. There is one man. It's Hyper, but they've dealt with him. There's a pre-fire coming in from Furlan. It's not worked out. I think they sent one into connector there as well. And there are now just 3 men left for eBettle. This is where things have to be stepped up for them. It's Grubby, Pete, and Rallen versus 4 from CLG. Make that 3 as Rallen will kill off 1. And look at the HP there for Hazed. Super, super low, burning off a little bit. What do they have in terms of grenades? Not really a whole lot. 1 smoke and 1 flash to make it work. Here's the push. Oh, he's incredibly low as well. There's the molly actually coming out. They've killed off Grubby, and Rallen couldn't quite connect his shots. There are a couple incredibly low, but he needs to find the man inside kitchen, and that bomb is ticking incredibly fast. And there is Tariq from the side, and CLG are going to breathe a sigh of relief there as they hit match point.
That push from Pete at the start of the round could be the reason they lost their confidence there. We saw pretty much the exact same round with CLG there, getting the short control and getting up there. It's very obvious, again, getting smoking off the connector and then going up together as a team. But before, they had the full crossfire there. They were ready for it. That time, they seemed a little bit rattled, losing so much HP at the start and moving back. But here we go then. CLG on match point. We can see the auto snipers are coming up for Grubby. That can be a very viable weapon on Mirage, actually. It works really well, especially with the smoke takes, for example. But JDM, he's changing up the pace a little bit and going for that first pick and B. And he could get this, you know. The jump hit coming in and it just won't hit the scalp. Could have been huge, but there we go then. The round coming into fruition.
Seeing a Molotov thrown up there into window. I'm pretty sure they just saw Cutler crossing over there on short. Another molly thrown into window. So really keen on keeping that man away from things. We'll see once Grubby can chime in here with this auto sniper what it can actually do for them. Pete, of course, with the AWP as well. And they've gone for a 3-man B defense at this point. If you look at the minimap, that might be the wrong call for them. It's a definite stack towards the A site here from CLG.
Yeah, they're going to be doing the set piece. We haven't seen much of this from them. They've been purely about the standard plays, working up together. They have got a snake in the grass out there, and maybe he can cause a distraction and lock the kills here, but the CCs are peeled apart.
Here we go then. Smoke's going to start to bloom. One on the stairs, one at jungle. They spotted him there, and it's going to be a 1-for-1 trade. It's Cutler taking down Hyper, and that will feed a gun into his hands, but Rallen will come up big from that one. There are now just 3 men left for CLG, but only 2 men left here for eBettle as that bomb goes down. And we've got Furlan pushing around the back. What can they do here? It's Grubby with the auto sniper. Gets one, but they're just going to back away and say, right, you have to push us. You're the ones that have to defuse this bomb. Come and get us. What goes down first? FNS here will peek from balcony. Does get the one onto Grubby, and it's going to make it incredibly hard. JDM comes in from ramp, and CLG getting a little bit of a scare here against eBettle, but will finally manage to tie it up 16-14. But their hard task really just starts now. They've got Navi waiting for them in the next round.
Got to tighten things up, boys, if you're going to take down Navi. That wasn't a convincing performance from them whatsoever. eBettle showing they can compete with the best, and a good result from them. Unfortunately, they do go home now, but CLG go through to the next round. But what a game that was, so back and forth. And when we thought eBettle were out of it, they answer straight back and take it right down to the wire as well. So fantastic stuff from them.
Fantastic little comeback. And, you know, I think showing that right now maybe they're not a top team. They're not a team to maybe contend at this level, but they could certainly get there, you know. We saw them yesterday getting absolutely battered by Fnatic in the N16 too, but really pushing CLG the entirety of that one. And, you know, just a couple of kills in that last round was all that stood between them and overtime. So I think they can be fairly proud of what they've come here to Cologne with and achieved.
Absolutely. As a semi-professional team, showing that kind of performance against the guys who have a gaming house, one of the best orgs in the world. So that's an amazing result for them, and we can only expect to see more from them in the future.
My question to you now, though, Henry, can CLG pull this one off even further and take down Navi?
I'm not so sure about that. After that performance, I've lost a little bit of faith, to be honest, but we'll see how that one goes down for them. It's going to be very, very difficult for them.
Well, fantastic win there in the end. 16-14, CLG will go through to play Navi next, but before that comes along, we are going to be taking a quick break, but we'll be back right after this with ESL One Cologne.
And welcome back, everyone, to ESL One Cologne, where Moses can be happy again because North America still lives on. Moving on.
Do that
in
dance.
Group E. Yeah, there we go. I don't know if we all wanted to see that one, but it's going to stay online forever. But congratulations to you and your team, CLG, of course. Color, just tell us, I mean, you did kind of scrape through when it comes score-wise, and that map really looked like it could be troublesome. But you took the win overall, and you're still going to move on in Group E. How's things looking for you guys right now?
I mean, I feel like no matter who we play, every game's close. And especially in a competition like this, every team, you know, it's top-notch. So, I mean, we're looking forward to playing Navi. Hopefully
Right on.
we can make it close, too.
Yeah.
Are you going to go for Mirage?
Yeah, even though that one was sort of a struggle, it's still
Well,
one of
that's
our
like
more
you guys'
comfortable maps.
favorite map, yeah.
Yeah, so,
Navi's too. But
yeah,
It was Fanatics as well, and they took it right to him.
that's true.
True. Yeah, I mean, if we look at it,
All
Anders,
right.
Moses on his high
All
right
right.
now. He's got
Let's
you
bring
covered.
it down with the small gap we had before, with not getting 10 rounds. I feel like, just as Cutler stated, every game at a tournament like this, it can be close. Like, every team has their tricks. Every team can do hard damage with the individual players they have on their teams, but CLG fight it out. They win in the end. I mean, you're obviously not going to say that you're not confident going into Navi, but how would you rate your chances?
I think we have a pretty good chance. I mean, we studied them a little bit, so hopefully the map choice goes in our favor.
we need to make it, I think, more concrete. We need some signs on the board here. So if this is how prepared you were for eBettle, how prepared, like, the other hand, how close are you to Navi? How much have you done in terms of homework here?
Well, I'll be honest, we watch more Navi demos than
So how high is that?
So probably
That high.
Right here.
All right.
All right.
All right.
on the maps we watched. I mean,
That's what I need to know.
Yeah, that's looking pretty good, it seems.
Are you starting to feel more comfortable calling now that you've been in that role for a little bit longer?
yeah, I mean, a competition like this, definitely the pressure's a lot higher. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, for the most part, I mean, our T sides usually go pretty good, depending on the map. Sometimes it's our CT sides that are pretty bad. Like Dust 2 is pretty bad, our CT side, but
So when you did the timeout, what were you talking about? What was the general? We talked like Joe Miller and Henry talked about who was going to take the initiatives, who was actually going to make the decisions. How was the spread out on the team? Like, what were the ideas?
well, I mean, I asked my team what they think would work, and I just got all the ideas like just collectively, and hopefully then we just came up with the best decision because I'm not everywhere on the map, so I try to see what they're doing on that side of the map, and I mean, it worked out pretty well. So.
Yeah, it did.
So whenever there's a matchup between two teams that have really good AWPers, it always ends up being like, the talking point becomes like which is best and who's going to out-AWP who. I think JDM is actually a bit underrated on like an international level as an AWPer. Do you think the match is going to boil down to that, Guardian versus JDM, or are you guys going to try and make it more complicated than that?
I think it's gonna be more complicated. I don't think our style is based off just opera or like Navi. I feel like it is kind of like they base more around Guardians, like him getting picks and stuff like that. And ours is more like, I mean, we go for picks and let JDM do what he wants if that's what he wants to do on like our default setup. But I mean, it's not based off him. Like I don't wait for him to make a call.
All right.
All right. Well, yeah, I mean, overall, so we were kind of joking around about it before, but it's true, right? I mean, you guys finally kind of breaking that 16-13 curse of just getting so close, but this time you guys are the one who is able to like close it out and say, all right, you know what, it's time to finally take that win. Overall, is that something, I mean, we spoke with Hayes briefly at the Intel Extreme Masters, of course, a couple of weeks ago, but now coming into the majors, are you guys feeling like, all right, we've gotten that close, we feel confident enough to take these wins, or are you still like, oh man, maybe we just need that extra 1-2%?
I feel like I said, every map, no matter what team we play, even if people think they're below us or above us, it's always close. I don't know if it's just we play better when, we feel like the team's better, like top 5 or something. We play up to their level, and sometimes we might play down to their level. Maybe it's just overconfidence or whatever. But I feel like, if we play more like a team, we'll definitely close it out better.
All right. Oh,
You
Anders?
guys have played TSM on LAN and lost, I think, 16-13.
16-12,
Envy on
I
LAN.
think, yeah.
16-14-13 against Envy as well. NIP yesterday.
Yep.
If you get a similar scoreline this time and lose to Navi 16-13, how bad would that be?
It would be like the worst loss. We were talking about it, and we were like debating on what's better, just getting rolled over or getting these close games.
Right.
Because then at least, but in a way I feel like it's better. At least we feel like we can, compete at this level.
Do you feel like it's going to be like a sequence of close games until you finally make the breakthrough, or a series of close games until the team just hate each other?
Just twisting the knife
Yeah.
over and over.
I feel like all our
Honestly.
games will be close, but yeah.
All right. Well, with Andrew just speculating away about those close scorelines. Well, first of all, of course, congratulations, still in order. We don't want to take it away from that. Of course, you guys just came off of that win. But like we mentioned, you do have another tough matchup coming up against Navi, so we won't keep you here too long. We'll let you go ahead and set up for that matchup. Again, it is going to be the decider match of Group E. Time to find out again another team who moves on to the playoffs. Another team will be sent home. It's time for all the North American fans to rally around Moses and not let your dreams be dreams. Get ready during
rally around
this break.
CLG.
Oh, well, rally around CLG, yeah, for sure. But get ready after this break. And during that break, don't forget, if you haven't yet, buy those player signatures, buy those team stickers to support the teams, the players, and of course, ESL here at ESL One Cologne. We'll be back with that next matchup right after this.
Yeah, right. Last man standing. P2